Much for joining me. Hi, Witch Digital. How are you today? Good to see you. We have lots to talk about today. Um, one of the things that, as you saw the title, one of the things on my mind is how people are so separated nowadays. And I think that we need to figure a way because people are lonely. Sometimes people don't have anybody to talk to and that kind of thing. And so I have my notes here. So um, I feel like we maybe need to get set up more community for people and that kind of thing. So great, good to see you here. So that's one of the things we want to talk about tonight. Did you see the poll that I did? Which I am doing great. Just a little thirsty. Anyway, I wanted to know if you guys wanted to talk about other things besides, the norm of what we've been talking about. I think we need to bring some more energy in, some better energy in, and I'm going to pull some cards. I did my research, and um, no, I did not create the poll. Oh, no, I put a poll um, in the comments section. Okay, don't worry about it now, though. We'll talk about it later. And I asked some questions about what people might want to talk about. Oh, okay, okay, thank you. Okay, but I'm glad you're here, and I have my notes here, so I might just be looking down for a minute. But people are getting anxious about things, and just because of the world that we're living in today. Um, and people aren't, um, we don't get together as much as we used to and that kind of thing. So, anyway, I wanted to talk about that a little more because I believe, we have a community here, the Teacups, and we get together every week and we get to talk to each other and everything. And, it does me good. I don't know about you guys. I'm sure it does you guys too because you show up. And so I just think we need to talk about that just a little bit more. I'm just going to wait a few minutes and see if anybody else shows up. Um, I did put the note in the comment section. We had a pretty lively chat last week, so I'm hoping that more people will show up for this. Um, yeah, we did, didn't we? Which it was nice, and I enjoyed talking to everyone and just finding out where everyone was at and that kind of thing. So it was good. Um, so I am gonna throw some cards. And what I found was, as I was, doing my research, as I'm always doing, um, I found some things about um, there's organizations and policymakers that are trying to get together. They're trying to create community groups, and um, this is in Washington, D.C., and it's called the 2026 Global Loneliness Awareness Week Summit. So the entire focus, and I think that happened this week, and the entire focus was on isolation, belonging, community, and human connection. So we're missing a lot of that, especially since um, everything is online now. Um, COVID did a lot of stopping people from doing their norm and visiting and doing that kind of thing. And now we got this silly person that's trying to run the country. And sometimes people are afraid to move around because of all the things that are going on. So I wanted to pull some cards on that. Um, so it looks like the government is discussing loneliness as a public health issue in the same way they discuss heart disease or addiction. Can you believe it? I mean, it's so much going on, and loneliness is one of the things that they got to look at and discuss and figure out what they're going to do about it. Um, so it's finding out that it's causing people depression, anxiety, dementia, heart disease, poor health outcomes, and lower life satisfaction just because, of the way we're living our lives now. You're right. Yeah, you said that's good to hear about. Yeah, and it bleeds into so many other things in our lives. That's the thing about it. Um, so they're researching it now, and they're trying to do something about it. Um, so we're just going to talk about that. Um, yeah, it affects your health and everything. So yeah, and people are so on edge these days. You say something to them, you don't know where they're gonna, how they're gonna come off or whatever, and sometimes, how you used to be able to speak to people and that kind of thing. Now that's not happening as much as it used to because um, people don't know where you might come from, and they're a little bit afraid. Um, so I'm hoping that this place for the teacups will be a place that we can get together and kind of talk about our issues and that kind of thing, and just say whatever you need to say, and get some feedback and that kind of thing. So I'm going to pull some cards. And let me find my notes here. So I think I'm going to use a different deck. So I have some questions I want to ask. I'm going to pull a 5-card spread. And it's on where we're going as a collective when it comes to, how we're participating in life these days. So I think I'll do a 5-card spread. All right, Spirit, talk to us about what's going on and how people are feeling about their lives nowadays at this time in our world. All right, 5 cards, Spirit. They keep trying to turn over. I just might as well turn them over. 2. 3. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, right? See what Spirit has to say about all this. I think that people have a lot of mistrust these days too, because of everything that's been going on. People don't know who to trust or what to trust because we've been lied to so much and everything. Um, so it makes it hard. So first card up we have is the Queen of Swords, Page of Wands, Hierophant, the Two of Swords in reverse. Wow. And we have we have three cards really in reverse because that Page of Wands is in reverse, and also the Six of Cups in reverse. Okay, so the first question I want to know really is, where are we at right now when it comes to what's going on with loneliness in the country and that kind of thing. And we have, let me bring it down so you can see the cards. And the first card up is the Queen of Swords. And I think that right now, people are feeling judged, and there's no clear boundaries as far as things go nowadays, because in the past we knew that there are certain things that we shouldn't do or couldn't do because of the law, but now the law is being kind of torn down, taken apart, however way you might want to say it, because the leaders are not following the law. So then that makes everybody else feel like, why should we? So I think people are feeling judged. They're looking at things from a different perspective at this point, because, like I said, no matter what you do, you may feel that there is a little bit of judgment going on there with you. And then the next question I wanted to know about is, what is separating us? What's separating us? And of course, I get the Page of Wands, and this is about lack of direction. Lack of direction. There's nobody that's really directing us, in a sense. Not that we need direction, but when your leaders are not doing the right thing, then you feel like, you don't know where your path is going to take you. And you have conflicting beliefs and that kind of thing. So that's what I feel like this Page of Wands Wands in the reverse is telling us about, these conflicting problem. We don't know which way to go because there is a lack of direction, so we don't know what to think, so there's a lot of fear and grief in that. And then we're getting all these different kinds of distractions and that kind of thing from our higher ups. And then the next question is, what are we learning? Well, the Hierophant's here, so we're learning a lot about institutions and how they work and how things are really institutionalized in a sense. So what I mean by that is the institution protects everything. So here we have someone that's breaking all kinds of laws and everything, but in a sense he's protected, at least for a while. You know what I'm saying? At least for a while he's protected, and we have to go through all of these changes and everything. Society has to wait until the law catches up, And so we're kind of at the mercy of that. And that's one thing that makes us have distrust also, because of the way those kinds of things are happening right now. And we're living in it, we're looking at it. So that makes people very distrustful. And we see all the institutions being broken down, and nobody's really doing enough, to stop it. We have to go through all these processes, and the hair font, it is about the institutions and things, and they are changing, falling, and that kind of thing. So the next question was, what can help bring us together? And we get the Two of Swords here. The Two of Swords is about separation, not knowing which way to go, and that kind of thing. But we have it in the reverse, and so there's a lot of confusion. But I think what this card is saying is that we have to make a decision. We have to make a decision about what way we want to go, what we want to do. We need to try to choose what it is that we need to try to make a choice. It's all up to us to make a choice what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. At this point, it feels like we're in this big web of mistrust and disbelief and all these kinds of things. But I think what this Two of Swords is saying in the reverse is that we can't be indecisive about what we're going to do because someone else is trying to pull the strings. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Wesley. Let me see. We have Wesley. We have Crystal and Hunter. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Crystal. You are my favorite. All right. You are my favorite. All right. YouTuber. Oh, thank you so much. Welcome to everyone. Greetings from New York. Thank you for being here, Hunter. So I think that's what this Two of Swords is saying to us. Even though the country is so divisive right now, we have to have, we have to communicate with each other. We have to have compassion try to have as much compassion as you can for others. When we see things happening, we have to try to listen to what's going on around us so we'll know what to do, because all of this is about divisiveness. And we have this Two of Swords here talking about it, but we have to figure out how we're going to come together as a community. And it only takes, a few of us, really. When people say, what are you going to do? And some of my friends ask me that, well, what can we do to bring things together, And it's like, you've got to decide whatever works for you. Okay, I'm just looking at that comment. Anyway, I'm going to let that slide for now. But anyway, I'll see what comes up. And then moving forward, what do we do to move forward? And we have in the reverse the Six of Cups. And now normally this Six of Cups is about nostalgia and that kind of thing. But what we need to do to move forward is try not to live in the past if we can. We got to try to live we need to go forward and, like I said, make our own decisions, be independent of, what we think is right. And that kind of thing. I'm just looking at these comments, guys. Whatever it is that you guys are talking about with this word, I hope you guys will stop, because, some of you, if it continues, there's going to be a problem. Anyway, so overall, I'm just going to pull one more card, though. Um, I want to pull one more card. But overall, what I'm feeling like this is saying is that we've got to find our own balance. We've got to create our own community, and I'm hoping that this channel helps us to come together community-wise. There's always a lot of distractions that are going on, and it's taken us off our center because if you're not, if things that you're seeing in the news, things that are going on, the people that are leading us basically are that should be leading us in a positive way are not. Yes, that's going to make us feel not. Our paths are going to change because we're not going to continue to be who we are because we got to worry about. There's a lot of anxiety going around. There's a lot of people not trusting anymore, not believing anything they hear anymore. We don't know what's AI and what isn't, and that kind of thing. So that brings up a lot of problems. So let me pull one more card, and I'm going to ask Spirit, what is it that we're forgetting? What is it that we're forgetting? Okay, I get the Hanged Man here. I get the Hanged Man. And in this particular case, I'm feeling like this is more about seeing things from a different perspective. But I think this is even talking a lot about spirituality and being awakened and opened up. A lot of us have been sleeping through all of this. If it hadn't happened like it happened, we would still be asleep because we wouldn't know what was going on around us. But now that we know, it's like this hanged man is saying, hey, it's time to wake up. It's time to see things even from a different perspective. So if you weren't awoke, now you know what's going on, and you need to, do whatever you can do, whatever little thing that you can do in your community to make things better, to make people feel better and that kind of thing, whatever it is, that's what you need to do. And I hope that some of you, this is what I want you to put in the comments section for me, or just talk about what you might do. I mean, sometimes it's just saying hello or just giving somebody a smile or something like that to help them through the day, because you never know what people are thinking when we have to deal with this kind of thing. And it's like it's all over the country. It's like there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. So just being nice to somebody sometimes may make a difference. Well, thanks for the hearts, guys. My shirt says, pour into you, Black Queen. Yeah, pour into you, Black Queen. It's one of those shirts that are available around, Black History Month. But, yeah. Hi, Christine. So glad you're here. Good to see you. What could we do to improve to community? What could we do to help someone, just put a smile on their face or something like that? You guys have any suggestions about what we can do? Okay, is there anything else that you guys might want to talk about? Oh, the certificate on the wall. Am I have an MFA in Master of Fine Arts degree. So you might see on my channel where I do art and that kind of thing. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree and a Master of Fine Arts degree. So sometimes I read art and tell you guys about it. I don't know if you've seen that. We have some trolls in here. All right. I don't have any of my yeah, Christine, that's strange too. To me, I know what you're saying. Anything you guys want me to read about? Anything else? Or what are your thoughts on just what we talked about at all? You guys have any thoughts on that? Thank you, Christine. What do you mean? How can you get into a reading? Okay, Christine, we were talking about um, how people are feeling lonely now and that kind of thing because, it started, of course, COVID, and it kept people in the house and that kind of thing. But now, with AI and everything online, and then the people that are leading the country now, it's making people feel lonely and anxious and depressed and all that kind of stuff. So we're trying to figure out, we were talking about ways to um, um, create more community. And I did read the cards on it, so you guys will have to go back and look at the earlier version. Oh, thank you, Witch. You said thank you for doing the reading. I think it is good. Yeah, something good to think about. Right. I mean to say, all I done was say hello to those people and the one that one attacked me. Oh, yeah. Well, they're gone. So don't worry. They're gone. I don't know what that was. Oh, you're welcome, Christine. I'm trying. Although the views are low these days. I don't know what it is, but hey, it'll come back. It'll come back because I know that we have some good discussions here, and Christine says, "Oh yes, COVID really did make people feel alone. I'm a loner, so it doesn't bother you. Okay, that's good. You know, some people, some people that are alone, it does bother them. Because they're not used to it. And I think we've become more to ourselves now because we don't know who to trust or what to trust, and your views are low because U.S. Okay. Um, which says, yeah, one of the things for life path 7 is generally being a loner, but that doesn't mean that we don't want connection. So yeah, I definitely feel you. I am a life path 7 also. So yeah, that is one of the things about being a a life path 7. Um, and the thing that I like to do, though, being that life path 7, is doing a lot of research and that kind of thing. Christine says people need to face themselves. It's easy to stay busy in life and keep going and never stop to be with themselves once they don't like what they see. You know, that is so true. And sometimes that is what happens is people forget how to be with themselves, you know, which is not a good thing. You know, sometimes you need to take time out and just be with yourself, which, yep, you're 7 too. Yep, that is so true, Christine. Sometimes when you're with yourself, you learn some things about yourself. Hi, Shirley. Thank you so much for being here. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for being here. Rhonda, hello. Thank you guys for showing up. Yeah, sometimes you just need to take some alone time and be by yourself and learn how to do your thing. And but I think that even with that, we still need some way of connecting to others, you know. Like I said, even doing this, I feel like I like the fact that we can connect, you know what I'm saying, just here on this channel, because everybody needs somebody to, you know, maybe you don't have a lot to say, but maybe you just want to say a comment, just a little comment or something, or just speak like you guys are doing right now. You know, you're getting to know yourself community wise here, even though you may never see each other or anything like that, but that is like building community. And I think we need to do that because of all that's going on in the world. And I think especially in the United States, because we feel like, and I feel like this sometimes, like we have lost control. You know, we have no control over anything. When people are constantly breaking the law and nothing is being done, then that makes us feel like we have no control because nobody's doing anything. So, which says, yes, I like coming here when the people that are usually here show up and we can all talk with Mary. Oh, thank you. You already had to get rid of a couple people. Another thing, Christine says, another thing is some people married for reasons other than love. And when COVID happened, they got locked down with each other and they couldn't stand it and ended up divorcing. Yeah, I heard a lot of that went around. Yeah, if you get married for the wrong reasons, almost anything might break you up, you know, because you don't want to be there anyway. So, yeah. But I think that just from the study that I read about people being more depressed now and that kind of thing, I think it has a lot to do with people being separated and being people not trusting one another anymore. You really don't know who to trust. You don't know who's who these days. But I mean, you still can't keep yourself, you know, away from people. And it's good. Being a loner is good. There's nothing wrong with being a loner. But every once in a while, you need to kind of touch bases with people. Is how I see it. But that study was interesting because, you know, they're gonna do something. They're gonna treat it like they're gonna treat loneliness like a mental health issue, and they're gonna get money and start researching and trying to help people which is a good thing because I think that we have gotten to that point now where people are just sitting in their homes. You can just get online and be online. You don't have to go out. I mean, you don't have to go out for anything, guys. You can order your groceries, have them come to you, and you don't even have to go shopping anymore. You can do all of that. Everything that used to be. I mean, you can even go to your doctor online. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have to be in the office, um, you can do, on things online with your doctor. I'm always sending mine an email, asking them this and that. I don't have to go in to see them. So it's like everything. And another thing is, okay, I saw that. And Christine says, yes, people don't know, but a lot of people committed, oh, okay, during lockdown. Yeah. And which says, yes, you just got to be discerning and look and see if you can see who to really trust. I've always did that. So yeah, I'll always try to make sure that I can trust a person. Yeah. And stay home when you can. Yeah, I still like to go out and do my errands and things like that. Um, so, yep, going to eat lunch with someone. You said you like going to eat lunch with your mother. That's a good thing. That is really a good thing. Yep. So, yeah, if you just can go out somewhere and have lunch with someone, that kind of thing is really good. So, was it last weekend? These weeks go so fast. Last weekend was Father's Day, right? So it was a good weekend because I had, kids come and all that kind of stuff, and we played games and, you know, ate a lot. So even those kinds of things help. So what else should we look at tonight, guys? I don't know. Let me see if I can find something that's in the news right now. Last week we talked about that guy that disrespected Michelle Obama. Did anybody hear his little apology? I guess it was an apology. I don't even know what it was. I don't think it was oh, he did say he would never take that back. He said that. I don't know why people are calling it an apology. What he's saying is, well, I just admit that she's strong like most men are. I guess that was his little way of saying that he's apologizing. And she can move around like most men do, that kind of thing. J.D. Vance got snubbed by that official. Oh, J.D. Vance. You know what? I didn't see that. But let me just look it up. So who was the official that let's read on him. You know what I did see about him is how him and his wife was doing an interview, and he kind of patted her on her knee. I'm thinking, wow, that was nice. Something he said about her. Yeah, I didn't hear much about the so-called apology, but more and more people are starting to question the Orange Man's baseless. Oh, yeah, vandalism claim about the reflection pool. I just don't know. I think those people, what does he think people are going to do? Let's take a look at J.D. Vance. You know why, though? Because if anything happens with Orange Peel, we know that he is supposed to be next in line. So let's just take a look at him. All right. But I don't know what he's treating his wife like. Oh, J.D. Vance was on The View? Oh, wow. I have to look at that one. The people he needs to arrest, he don't arrest. You know what I'm saying? He let them go. Okay, Spirit, let's see what we need to know about J.D. Vance. What I'm wondering is, Spirit, will J.D. Vance ever take position as president? Okay, these cards are jumping out. Let's see. Nope. First of all, I got the death card, guys. Got the death card. And then I got the Knight of Pentacles. And I got the Five of Pentacles. So something is going to end for him. I don't know what it is with this death card showing up here, but I have these two pentacle cards showing up. Now the Knight of Pentacles is all about efficiency, responsibility, hard work, and all that. Of course, we know he doesn't do that, but this card is saying it's going to be very slow coming if it happens. So I'm feeling like there may be a chance that they may look at him becoming it, but I think as far as him doing it, no, because the next card I have up is the Five of Pentacles, and we know what that's all about. That's about being left out in the cold. It's going to be hard for him. If he gets there, it's going to be very slow coming, but he's not going to last. And I think I've said that all along. Yeah, he may get there, but it's not going to last for him. And the reason why it might get there, guys, is because depending on what happens and how it happens, he's the next in line. So if he got there, it would be very, very temporary. And that's how I see it. The reason why the paint is peeling, because they drove over it before they... Okay, that's something else. Oh, you're talking about the pool. Can you do a reading to see if people that was arrested about the pool, if that goes any further? Okay. Let's see what's going to happen, Spirit, with the people that were arrested about the pool. Oops. Will that go any further? Anybody have to pay a fine or anything like that, Spirit? Tell us what's going on with the pool, Spirit. What will happen with the people? There's the law. There's a happy family, and there's the defense. Um, so we have the King of Swords. Well, we know already that they're going to have to, probably go before the law. But what I'm wondering is, were they actually arrested? Were people actually arrested? Can we be sure about that? And then we have happy family here, but he may try to drag something out, and they're going to really be on the defensive. So yeah, they're gonna. Yes, they arrested them. They put handcuff. Oh, so you saw it? Okay. Um, but it's going to be a challenge. But I don't think anything's going to come of it. He's saying something about. What I heard was 10 years or something. And you say, as far as the pool, all they did was touch the floating paint and picked it up. Some of them picked up pieces, but that was because it was peeling up from the surface. Mitch McConnell. Yeah. Let's see what's going on with Mitch McConnell. I don't think there's going to be much going to come of that. They don't arrest people that they need to arrest, because the person that's telling them to arrest people needs to be arrested, as far as I'm concerned. Mitch McConnell. Oh, really? The governor is a Democrat. Okay. Hmm. What's going on with Mitch McConnell's spirit? Is he still with us? I think he's still with us, guys. I think he's still with us. Yeah, my cards are all upside down. Yeah. Um. So here we have celebration, joy at the White House, and then we have the five of cups, disappointment, regrets, and then we have the eight of pentacles. I see this Eight of Pentacles. I'm reading it as a health card, and I think that he is very sick. If he's still here, but I think that he's hanging on with this Eight of Pentacles showing up. And yeah, there's going to be some celebration at the White House, and I'm hearing soon. And that regret. Who's regretting? He's regretting things. He's regretting things. Probably because, he wants to hang around longer in Congress. People like that hang on for life because it's been a long time where he just starting off and freezing. He's got to be very sick. Yeah, this is showing that he's very sick. He's very sick. I don't think he's ready to do anything, to leave yet, but that doesn't matter. When it's his time, it's his time. You know? Um, So, guys, the 250th birthday celebration. I don't know, has that started yet, or are we waiting for the 4th? Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I figured that's what you were talking about when he was freezing up. Yeah. It was like he was having some kind of brain fog or something. Yeah, I remember seeing that kind of thing. Let's see how the celebration, because he's doing something. I only heard bits and pieces of it, but I'm going to see. Let me see. When I don't feel like looking something up, I just ask them to do it for me. AI. Okay. So tell me about what the president is doing for the 250th anniversary of the United States. Um, because yeah, okay, often called the Cinquecento. Okay, July 4th, we know that. Um, oh, so he's made it one of his signature projects of his administration and has created a White House initiative called, okay, he's calling that the Freedom 250 alongside the existing bipartisan congressional commission known as America 250. So what is he doing? Oh, a year-long national celebration? So have we been supposedly celebrating this all year? Because I didn't know that we were supposed to be celebrating it for the whole year. It says here that he's made it, rather than treating July 4th as a single day event, the White House has organized celebrations stretching across much of 2026, accumulating. Okay, so we should have been already celebrating it. Okay. The Great American State Fair, National Garden of American Heroes. So I wanted to see what he was doing at the White House. Patriot Games. So, National Fireworks. So, what is the president doing at the White House to celebrate this besides the wrestling match that he had? Ah, Candace Owens. I didn't hear about her. Somebody said they think Candace Owens may be physically harmed. Huh. Okay. Oh, okay. Also, they're doing all this. They're doing all of this. The Great American State Fair on the National Mall, exhibits from 50 states, Patriot Games, National Garden of American Heroes, a planned outdoor park with statues of 250 American figures. I can I can just bet who's not going to be one of those figures. Obama won't be there. Um, Freedom 250 Grand Prix and Indy Street Race near the National Mall. America prays, inviting religious communities to pray weekly for the country leading into the anniversary. I haven't heard anything about that, have you guys? And then federal building decorations and agency-led patriotic programs, a new independence arc in Washington, D.C., announced to coincide with the 250th anniversary. So there's a lot going on there. Sports, spectacle, patriotism, religion, monuments, and national pride. So, what are we celebrating? With all these different things going on, I think we're supposed to be celebrating freedom. So, um, yeah, Christine says another waste. But the 4th of July is supposed to be about, freedom, right? But what is he actually celebrating? Yeah, there you go, which says it's just for his pleasure. So let's see. What is he really celebrating with all these different things going on? I mean, he wants the attention. We already know that. What is the president really celebrating? Let's do it this way this time. Okay. 5 cards. Let's see what he's really trying to do. Well, we already know that the main thing that he's trying to do is trying to keep our mind off of what's really going on. I don't think people have forgotten about it, though. We had the Queen of Pentacles. We had the Two of Cups. And again, the Page of Wands. The 5 of Pentacles. Wow. I'm surprised those same cards came up again, except for the first two, in which we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. Now, the Queen of Pentacles is nurturing, but she's also holding the money, guys. We know that. We know that. So, one thing we know that it's about is about the money. That's what he wants. He wants to hold the money. He's paying attention to how he can make some kind of money from doing this. Okay, and then we have the two of Cups here. Now, this is about unity, but unity for who? Because he's not including everybody in what he's doing. So I feel like this is just what my intuition is telling me. It's more about unity and bringing even more of his core group together. We know MAGA. That's what that's about. He also with this Page of Wands here, I think that it's to give him more potential. What he's looking at, maybe the people overseas will see how much potential America has and how great America is, or him really as a leader. And what makes me think of that is just this one person here on this Page of Wands here. I'm trying to get the right angle for you guys. This one person here looking at this one wand, it's all about him. It's all about him and how he wants people to see him. Yep. Um, but it's not going to work like he thinks. See, he thinks he's going to get something out of this, but it's not going to make any difference. He's still going to be left out in the cold, guys, when it comes to everything in the end. Even after doing all this, it's not going to give him any status. So it's really not about freedom. It's about him. Um, and we have this Eight of Pentacles showing up here again. These Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, and this Eight of Pentacles, all three of these last cards showed up before. Um, it's about him because he wants the world to see that under his leadership, America has really high standards, that the people here and him especially has been working so hard as the leader. But pay attention to that Queen of Wands here, because that Queen of Wands is what he really has his eyes on, and that is the person that holds the money bag. So I think that that's, well, we already know that he's just all about the money, the money, the money, and that's what he's looking at basically. But he's going to find that this isn't going to move the needle for him, and people are not going to think any better of him, or anything. It's just going to, he's going to feel the same way when it's all over with. Yeah, we do need to all get free mental health care just because of what he's done to people, just because of how he's traumatized everybody. So, yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, Shirley, are you saying, we talking about the same thing here? I don't know. You said none of these are going to happen. So, are you talking about these games and all the stuff that he's doing? Or are you talking about what he wants to do? Is put the attention all on himself. So, so we should have been celebrating a 250th anniversary already. I didn't know that. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I didn't have any idea. And all of these things that the Patriot Games, the National Garden of American History. I mean, National Garden of American Heroes. Wait a minute. National Garden, yeah, of American Heroes, a planned outdoor park with statues of 250 American figures. I just wonder who they might be. You know what I'm saying? Who does he think is a hero? I mean, really? There is no telling. And I wonder if that's already up. Let's find out. So tell me, is the National Garden of American Heroes already up? And who are some of those figures? Oh, it's not built yet. So this is getting close to time for it to be built, right? The National Garden of American Heroes is still proposed project under development. Oh, now I get you, Shirley, what you were saying. Yeah, it's still under development. Although Congress has appropriated funding and artists have been invited to create the statues, construction has not been completed. In fact, recent reports indicate that it's unlikely Even one statue will be placed by July 4th, 2026 anniversary, and the project is facing lawsuits over the proposed locations in Washington, D.C. Oh, good. Good. You know why? Because there may be a statue of Hitler up there for all we know. That's probably what he would want one up there. So, yeah, I would think that it would be up by now, but okay. The idea for the garden is to eventually contain 250 life-size statues representing Americans from many walks of life, not just politicians. Hmm. Some of the people proposed. Okay, so he got presidents listed here: George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, and J.F. Kennedy. Civil rights and social reform. Wow, now this surprises me. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Frederick Douglass, Susan B. Anthony, Harriet Tubman, Booker T. Washington, Jackie Robinson. Okay, so we know that this wasn't his plan. And what I wonder is, so these are American heroes. We have sports: Muhammad Ali, Kobe Bryant, Babe Ruth. Do we think this is his proposal? I mean, really? It's got too many black people. Then you got the military and exploration, which is Amelia Earhart, Daniel Boone, Sitting Bull, and Clara Barton. Clara Barton. Okay. I wonder when he proposed it. Okay, let's see. When was this proposal written up? Okay, so it goes back to his first term in 2020. And he signed an executive order for it. Okay, that's what I was thinking about, because it says here that it came about during the time when they were taking down um, monuments and statues, because during the debate around the death of George Floyd. Okay, so it says that the original idea of a few dozen statues grew to a list of 244 individuals, and he directed the government to move forward with planning. And then Joe Biden came in and he revoked both executive orders, effectively stopping the project. Hmm. Um, I'm just surprised that so many people, it's such a diverse list of people. Because some of those statues that were torn down, I would think he would be trying to replace them. So it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Is anything that's been proposed going to happen by July 4th? Anything on that list? Yeah, he probably put some of the J6 people on the list. So the fair, the Great American State Fair is happening. A statue of America. No, salute to America. That's happening on July 4th, and it's including a major presidential address. Oh, of course, a major presidential address, military flyovers, concerts and expanded fireworks display in Washington, D.C. International Naval Review. So the New York Harbor will have tall ships and naval vessels from the United States and America. 250 community celebrations are taking place across the country. Oh, well, yeah, people just do that naturally anyway. Later, they're going to do the Patriots game. A Patriots game announced scheduled for August 9th through the 11th, not by July 4th. And the Grand 250 Grand Prix is planned later in the anniversary year. Yeah, so the Garden of Heroes is not ready, and the Independence Arc has been announced but also remains in planning construction. Yeah, so there's a lot that's not going to happen with that, and I don't know, it had to be some other people that put their 2 cents in order for Congress to say okay and all that. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Andian. Um, because knowing him, a lot of the people, that statue of heroes wouldn't be that diverse. I know it wouldn't. Mm-mm. So, oh, the original proposal was that he was having a rally. Well, he's going to try that with his presidential address, which nobody's going to watch. He had the motorcade ride over the reflecting pool after it was painted and before they filled it back. What do you mean ride over it? So, okay, so what you're saying is you think that was all his doing, Andion? Yeah. Which says Putin, Hitler, Orange Man, etc. All three as one statue. That would be something to see. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I think we know who the true vandal is. So let's ask: do they know who messed up the reflection pool? There's rumors that his motorcade ran over it. Is there any truth to that? I know they're going to tell me. They're going to tell me no, of course. It's not in any documents. It's not documented that happened. I know that's what we're going to get. Okay, so I think they're a little slow because, oh, well, it says this rumor is based on a real event, but there's no evidence that the motorcade caused the damage. So, President had the motorcade did drive across the empty reflecting pool on May 7th, while the pool was drained and under renovation, and it was done so he could inspect the newly applied blue coating. The pool has not yet been refilled with water, and photos and videos show the SUVs driving on the prepared surface. Oh, the pool had not. That was on May 7th. Okay. He's saying that vandals cut a long gash in the liner and poured chemicals in the pool. People were arrested. And there's no proof. Okay. It's saying that there's no public, publicly released evidence proving that major damage was caused by vandalism rather than construction or material problems, which makes more sense. Why would somebody cut it and put chemicals in it? Okay, and they're saying that um, several news organizations have noted that the administration has not yet released evidence supporting the claims about alleged sabotage. So the rumor you've heard that the motorcade ran over it and caused the damage has not been substantiated. The motorcade did cross, okay. Okay. The summary arrests reported, but they don't have evidence that these people did anything. So why are they arrested if you can't really prove that they did anything? I don't get that. Have these people been jailed? Okay, no. Okay, so 5 people have been arrested on vandalism related allegations, and 5 others have received federal citations. So you don't even need to go near that pool because he's just trying to find people to do, why don't you arrest the people that did J6? Okay? That's where the arrest should happen. Stationary cameras as well as cameras that roll around. Well, that's good. Everybody knows that he makes stuff up. You're right, Nora. Everybody knows that he makes stuff up. So, Google what? Let's see. Also, they poured in peroxide, which can lift. Okay, let's see. Okay, so they rode over it. They did ride over it before they put the water in. That's what they're saying. They poured peroxide in. Okay, so um, was peroxide poured into the pool after it was painted? Can you research that for me and let me know? Oh, it says yes, and this is where the story gets confusing. Hydrogen peroxide was poured into the reflecting pool, but it was poured in by the National Park Service workers and contractors, not vandals. They did it as an official treatment after the newly renovated pool developed a significant algae bloom. Crews were photographed and filmed pouring bottles of hydrogen peroxide into the water. Okay, so they poured it in within days. Okay. Okay, so when the algae, within days after they put the water in, algae bloomed, turning the water green. Then the National Park Service began treating the water with, peroxide. Okay, and then it says at the same time. See, this is how corrupt he is. At the same time, Orange Peel stated that unknown individuals had poured corrosive and destructive chemicals into the pool illegally and that vandals had damaged the liner. However, as of now, no public evidence has been released identifying those alleged chemicals or confirming that such an act occurred. Now, if somebody did that, you would have to put a lot, because that's a big place. You would have to come in there with buckets of stuff if you were going to do it, which is probably what the Park Service did. Yep. And that's true. Okay. What you were talking about, which is right. It says that hydrogen peroxide itself, okay, says that it's not generally considered a paint stripper. It is commonly used in water treatment to control algae. However, if a coating was not properly bonded or cured, or if there were other problems with the installation, the peroxide treatment could interact with an already failing surface. Experts say it would be difficult to determine the cause without examining the coating system and the underlying materials. So that could be the problem right there. That could be the problem right there. So I mean, those people, they should sue him for him having them arrested. I'm just looking at what you guys are talking about. He claimed people put fertilizer in there. Why? Why would they? I mean, the only people that would do something like that is MAGA. Yep, they were hired to do it. Oh, so the company that did the renovations to the pool donated 1 million to his campaign when he was running. That sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right too. Which they probably filled it with water before it was fully cured. You say he always gets unprofessional people to do work only to turn around and pay them and tell them to sue him. Oh, he doesn't pay people though. He don't pay people. He don't believe in paying people. So, but they had already donated 1 million. Um, but I don't know. The government would probably have to pay them for that because it is, on the White House grounds. Wiley Coyote, super genius. Yeah, so I don't think he has a leg to stand on about arresting people about doing something to the pool. But the thing about it is, it would make me not want to go near that pool because he's just waiting on the next thing so that he can arrest somebody. You know what I'm saying? And take the eyes off of him. They can't sue because usually they run out of money. Okay. Oh, no, it's not coming out of his pocket at all. Not at all. I'm just going to look at him real quick. Yeah, they'll get paid because the government, because we're paying them. Well, he should be embarrassed anyway because he tore down all of that. You know, I wonder what that's looking like. Is it still looking like a train wreck went through it where he took part of the White House down? People haven't talked about that lately. I haven't seen any pictures about it. But you got all of this going on, and you got the side of the building all torn off. All right, so let's see. Let's see what's happening with him. What's going on with him? Hmm. I got all these cards in the reverse. Hmm. Got a lot of reverse cards. I'll bring you guys down. So we have the lovers, and we have the three of cups in reverse. We have the strength card in reverse. We have the chariot in reverse, and we have the six of pentacles in reverse. Just all these reverse cards make me think that something is not stable here. But the only one that's upright is the lovers. And I think this is more about bringing balance, trying to bring balance, but there is a lot of overindulgence going on. We know that he's allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, probably overindulging in some things. Um, and then we have the strength card in reverse, which tells me that things are, he's weakening. That's what that's telling me. And he knows it, and he has a lot of self-doubt, although you would never know it because he tries to claim that he's all that. And then we have the chariot in reverse. He knows, guys, that he doesn't have all the control that he thought he had. I think there's been a lot of rulings against him lately. And with this chariot in reverse, it's telling me, no, he knows that he doesn't have all of the control that he wants. But of course, he wants it, and he's showing a lot of aggression in order to get it. And then we have this Six of Pentacles in reverse. Um, I feel like he's losing a lot of his power and domination, and things are not balanced. Um, it's like he needs to take care of himself, but I think he's past all that now. But yeah, it feels like this Six of Pentacles in the reverse is telling me that his health is not balanced, and he's losing that way also. He's losing his power. So he's trying to find balance first of all, but everything is leaving him. His power, his strength, he has no control. Everything here reads as it's over. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. And it couldn't happen to a better person. So Christine, yeah, I wonder. Wouldn't that be nice? He did that when they destroyed the. Okay. Yeah, there you go, witch. You got it right. A rotting pumpkin. Mm-hmm. You know what? And it looks like it's kind of slowly happening, guys. Um, I'm looking at Witch's statement. She says she loves that for him. Um, but it's happening. It's happening. It's showing up right in these cards here. It's definitely happening. So, we just have to be patient. Because I think, see, a lot of people that were involved in the Epstein are going down, or are, such as Diddy, people we can recognize anyway. And what's his name? The one that just passed. Dang. His name is on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it. I'm thinking of Harvey Weinstein keeps coming up in my mind, but it's not him. It's that other guy. He was 94 or something. Clyde Davis. Clyde Davis. And we know that he was involved. Well, allegedly, he was involved along with Diddy. The traffic part of things. So it's like eventually we're going to get it all, but now I'm feeling like we're not going to get it all until a lot of them are gone. That's how I'm feeling, right now. And the main person that's got everybody scared to talk, he's still with us because they're afraid that, if they say something, he has something on them. So that's a problem. Oh, Andion, you think we'll get compensation? All of us? Well, let's see if we will get compensation. I'm going to pull three cards, and I'm going to see if they say yes or no or maybe. After he's gone, will we be compensated for government waste, fraud, and abuse? But then, you know what? We just have to pay for it if it happened. Because the same thing with COVID when they were passing out those checks and everything went sky high. Wow, that's wonderful to hear, Christine. The owner of the New York Knicks said they are going to the White House, but the players said no, they are not going. Thank you, players. Who in the heck is the owners? We need to be looking them up. I don't follow sports like that. Why would they want to go? Who are the owners of the New York Knicks, and are they going to the White House for celebration? James Dolan. The Dolan family controls the company through its voting shares. And it says, yes, James Dolan has confirmed that the Knicks accepted the President Trump's invitation to visit the White House after winning 2026 NBA. Oh, wow. Okay. So, Dolan has said he's known President Trump for 30 years and considers him a friend. So we know what kind of person Dolan is, right? Okay, and he's saying that the exact date of the visit has not been yet announced. Dolan also said the logistics and which members of the organization will attend are still being finalized. Um, okay, I see it right here. So far, however, the organization has accepted the invitation, though it remains possible that individual players could choose not to attend. And it says, as of today, there has been no official announcement that any specific Knicks players plan to skip the visit. Hmm. Are there any complaints from the players about attending? Okay, so far, no Knicks players has publicly said I'm not going or criticized the team for accepting the invitation. The team has not discussed the visit publicly as a group. Shortly after the championship finals, Jason Brunson said they hadn't talked about the White House visit yet. Okay, so Hart has made some critical statements about Trump years ago. And Letitia James publicly reminded the players that attending is their individual choice and that no one is obligated to go. Okay, so there is some stuff going on about it. And then, of course, Whoopi says she hopes they'll go because the White House belongs to the American people, regardless of who the president is. So far today, they don't know. Yeah, I like Letitia James. She's just telling them, you don't have to go if you don't want to go. There's no law that says you have to go. But the thing about this, who is Dolan? Oh, so do you? Okay, I don't even know how to ask this question. Could Dolan be a member of MAGA? I'm sure they're not going to. No. I said he could be, but there's no public evidence that he is a member. Okay. They can't prove that he is, but I would think so. Hmm. More and more people are fed up. Even if the company or owners want to do it, the players do it, the group, such as the players and people like that, I actually do the thing. They're tired of it. I know what you meant by that. Yeah, Clive Davis. That's what I was talking about. Yeah. You know who we should get it from is the new trillionaire. Since he went in messing with people's records and stuff. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Which don't go just because the White House is a people's uh, house. I can't imagine. I would like to see that day come because I can't imagine they would just go. I can't. Hmm. New Jersey Dems plan on converting vacant malls into affordable housing. That's good. Yeah, he could cover everything, but he's not going to do it on his own. But he's the one that should be sued. He's the one that we should be getting money from because he had no business in there messing with our records and stuff. Yeah, if Kamala was there. Yeah, I think she's wrong too. I think she's wrong, and she should be dragged for saying it because who cares about a house when all other stuff is going on? You know what I'm saying? Why should you go just because? To me, it's not the people's house. It's certain people's houses, and a lot of those people are not New York Knicks. Okay, so no. Yeah, why would you go meet him? That's crazy. Well, let's ask the cards. Will the players go? I'll say this. Will the majority of the players go? Will the majority of the New York Knicks players go to the White House to meet the president? Let's say it that way. All right, Spirit. Will the majority of the New York Knicks players go to the White House to meet the president? This president that is now in office. Orange peel. Will there be a majority of players that go? Okay, put 3 cards. Well, all the cards came out in reverse again. I have the King of Pentacles, the King of Money. He's gonna go. I think their leader. We got their leader, and then we got the Five of Pentacles. Um, it's in reverse. All the cards are in reverse. Um, I don't think they're going to go. With this card being in the reverse, the Five of Pentacles is about walking. You know, I see it as it's walking away from the invitation. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. She's in reverse also. Okay, I think there's going to be a lot of conflict about it. Um, it's like the king is going to be upside down on this. I think there's going to be a lot of conflict about it, and some people are not going to attend. So with all these coming in reverse, and we got the king who is greedy, he's in the reverse. The walking, the left out in the cold is in the reverse, and the Queen of Pentacles is in the reverse. I'm going to say the majority of them are not going to go. That's how I'm seeing that. Yeah. He may go on his own. He's in the reverse. He has the money and the power. Hmm. I don't know why they would go anyway, because he's just going to sell them. He's going to give them McDonald's. I didn't see that, Christine. The troll almost choked that man trying to put that metal around his neck last week. Oh, I didn't see that. Hmm. Was that for one of the games? What was that about? I missed that. Hmm. Wow. Where was this at, guys? What I missed is it was a weird kind of thing. Anyway, it was some kind of medal for a military officer, I believe, but it was a weird thing anyway. Hmm. No, I didn't see that. It's got snaps on it. Why would he be trying to tie it around his neck? Okay, I'm going to look at it. All right, tell me about the latest medal award in which someone tried to tie the medal around someone's neck. Research that for me. June 18th, during a White House ceremony where President Trump awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor to three recipients: Major Nicholas Dockery, Major James Capers Jr., and Colonel John W. Ripley. Okay, the moment that went viral happened when President Trump was presenting the medal to Major Dockery. The Medal of Honors hangs from a blue ribbon with a clasp that fastens behind the recipient's neck. Trump tried to roughly 40 to 60 seconds to secure the clasp, but couldn't get it to fasten. Rather than stopping the ceremony or asking an aide for assistance, he took the ends of the ribbon and tied them together into a knot behind Dockery's neck. The audience laughed and Trump joked. Now that's not coming off. Major Dockery smiled and the ceremony continued. Um, so they say that from everything that's been indicated, Major Dockery was not offended. He accepted the medal. Okay, I'm interested. So that went different than normal ceremonies. That's not the way they're normally presented, and it looked unusual. Okay, it says that the medal is placed over the head. The Medal of Honor is suspended from a light blue ribbon. The ribbon rests around the neck, almost like a collar rather than hanging. The clasp is secured. So the ribbon has a clasp at the back of the neck. The president fastens it, adjusts the metal so it lays flat. A handshake. Says that what was different about it is that he couldn't get it to, the clasp to catch. After trying to close for a minute. Okay. Then they're telling you why it could have happened. But yeah. Well, it couldn't have been too small if he could fasten it, tie a knot in it. It couldn't have been too small. Yeah, he wouldn't officially say that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not going to say it. He's going to smile it off, of course. No, I didn't see it either, but that's just leave it up to him to not do it right. Yeah, it's supposed to fit close. It's not supposed to hang. I'm gonna have to go back and look at it, Christine. But the thing is, I don't even know why they let him do anything. Yeah, it's already a tight fit. He was scared. Major Dockery. Can you bring up a photograph of Major Dockery being with the metal being put around his neck? Oh man, he's pitiful. You do look like he's scared. I can't show it to you guys though, but yeah. I wouldn't even want to be close to him like that. He's too close. Mm-mm. Oh, he's MAGA? Well, yeah. So you're sad that it happened so people could look at it and make. make of us. Make fun of us, I think is what you meant to say. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's just sit down. Just sit down. He needs to just sit down and stop trying to do stuff. But he won't. Anything else you guys want me to look at while we're here? Yeah. He's not going to sit down. Nope. Mm-mm. It's not going to happen. Not until he's made to sit down. I just can't imagine what, I mean, he's got to be on some good medication, guys. I mean, just to stand there and do that, you know? But there's no telling what they have him on. Has anyone else experienced the past 3 weeks as being a little trying or crazy? The last 3 weeks. I don't know. What do you mean, Andy? What's going on? The last 3 weeks. You wake up really early in the morning. There's supposed to have been some kind of shifts happening lately. But I can't say that I have been affected in a negative way. Okay, I'll ask if JD Pants is going to resign. You know, they were talking about that at one time. You come out of a very deep sleep just before you wake up. That's me, Christine. I've been trying to tune out the noise too, so I'm trying not to let everything affect me in a negative way. You say Peter Thiel won't let him? Didn't Peter Thiel, he left the United States, right? Okay, tell us about Vance Spirit. As soon as one thing is resolved, something else happens. Yeah. Will Vance resign? Will Vance resign? Will Vance resign? I get a no and a maybe. Just pull one more. Well, two came out, so. Well, the death card, which is about endings, endings and beginnings. And then we have the hair fount, which I would consider as the institution of the presidency. Um, Temperance, that fell out, so there's some kind of imbalance. And then I have the eight of swords. That eight of swords kind of throws me off because I would say no. He's and there's some kind of imbalance, of course, but with this eight of swords showing up here, it makes me think of jail time or something. He's going to be restricted in some way. Well, maybe that's it. He'll be there, but there won't be any balance, and he won't be able to get anything done. But I can't say that he is going to resign. I don't really see that. Trying to see what keep having. Okay, Andion says she keeps having domino effects as soon as and sometimes that happens because it's like things come in threes. You know. Oh, thank you, Andion, so much. Um, it says flow state. Sent flow state. Thank you. Um, let's see. Oh, he did run away. Okay, so is he going to be there, or do you think he could control him after orange peel leaves? Andion, I don't know um, if he would have that much effect. I don't think he would. What I was saying though, Andion. I mean, yeah, Andion. Sometimes things come in threes. One affects something else, and yeah, I know that happens. Told me again that I was supposed to be empty towards the noise. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Which I'm supposed to be mainly be a observer. Oh, yeah, I can agree with that. So hopefully it'll stop, Andion, because sometimes, like I said, things happen in threes, and then, you know, when that three happens, usually it's over. Oh, under happy it said empty. That's talking about yourself, which I poured some clarifiers, and under happy it said empty. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Andion, for 200 jewels. Thank you. Yeah, he left. He left the country. Peter Thiel left the country. Magastar intuitive deck. Well, sometimes that happens to me too. You're trying to figure out, well, what day is it? you know, it seems like everything just runs together. I guess that's why we have to try to take our minds off of all this mess that's going on. And Christine says a lot of them are leaving and going into their bunkers because they know something is coming. Of course, they know they are the ones who are setting these things up. Of course, they know. It was Monday. Oh, it's one of your days off work, so you should be looking forward to Monday. Yep. Oh, now see, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me, which, because I think that we listen to all this noise and, it gets in our head and we have to step away from it. We just have to step away from it. That's why sometimes when you guys are asking me things, I have to look it up because it's like, I haven't really heard that much about it because I'm trying to keep my sanity. Oh, I've been feeling a lot better, Christine. Thank you for asking. Um, I'm getting better, but it's still not all the way, I don't even know. Um, I'm getting better, though. I'm going to say that. Much, much better compared to what I was. When it's completely healed, I will be happy, but I'm happy now. You know what I'm saying, but it's still there. I don't know if you guys know anything about burns. I didn't know anything about it until it happened to me, but that is something. It is something else when when you get a burn like that on your body, a 3rd-degree burn. It is not easy, but I'm still here, so I'm happy. Andion says, yes, I heard of the things happening in 3 and have had that often. Okay, good. Let's hope that's the last one for you. Yeah, because things do come in threes. Yeah, you're saying you get that, which good. And it says here lately, I haven't been watching as much, but I've been having AI to give me an overview of the news. Oh, that's a good way to do it, though. So you don't have to watch the whole thing. They can just tell you what's important or whatever. And also make sure that it checks. Yep, check it. That's true for contradictions. That's right. Oh, you said your mom got a real bad burn on her neck a while back, and it was pretty bad. Thankfully, it was just under 30-degree burn, I think, but it was very close. Oh, wow. The neck would be, yeah, mine came just close to it, but it's like I can hide all of that, which is good, thank goodness. But um, it's healing, but certain areas are just not. It's just gonna take a minute, and I've accepted that. So, but thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Um, but yeah, at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit back and wait for my body to do whatever it has to do, you know. But stuff happens, and there's really not a lot we can do about it. See, now that you mentioned it, I'm feeling something here, but I'm okay. Um, she was working in a restaurant, and it fell out of the oven because it was an oven. Okay. She was working in a restaurant, and it fell out of the oven because it was an oven that was above the area, and it fa- faded a lot because it's actually been a few years actually already. Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I don't know if it depends on what kind of burn you had too. What did she, something fell out of the oven? That's what you're saying? Okay, yes, the pan fell out. Oh, it was a bread pan. Oh. Oh, that can be hard. Well, she's lucky that it wasn't worse. Yeah, it's no fun though. Um, well, at first I had to use something that had the medication in it. And Dion is asking, did you use aloe? Um, Not yet. Yeah, I know. You mean the real aloe, like the leaf, the aloe leaf. Um, Maybe I should research that though. Well, they gave me something that had the medication in it that has, like, so that I wouldn't get infected. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I can't think of the name of it. But supposedly it has, I don't know if it's penicillin or whatever is in it. Whatever. I had to use it and use that for a while. Then I had to use a lotion. And now I'm just using, I've tried a lot of different things. But the thing about a third degree burn is that it's messed with the nerves. And the reason I had to get the skin grafts is because it's not going to heal on its own. So it wouldn't heal on its own. So um, the skin grafts are covering it. And the thing that's still healing with the third degree is that underneath the burn area is all of those tentacles or whatever, they have to reconnect. And they have to heal again. And that's what's taking it so long. And it still feels sore at times, and there's still like pain at times. And it can, and I think that's just because everything is trying to connect again because the tissue and everything underneath was burned. So that's what it's taking so long. But they told me it's going to be at least a year or more. I haven't even gotten to a year yet. A year will be, I think, July 17th, somewhere in there. So, but the thing that, the therapy helped because they told me where they put the graft, that if I didn't move my arm, it could just stay like that. So the therapy helped me to be able to move my arm back above my head and stuff like that. It was pretty bad. It was, I had to keep that so that the growth, when it grew together or whatever, that it wouldn't just stay in one place, because they told me that some people that didn't take their therapy seriously, when they have that kind of burn, it doesn't heal right, and then you're not able to move your limbs like you used to, because the graft is just going to stay there in one place, so that helped a lot. The therapy helped, but it's still not healed. It's a lot of under stuff that has to heal for me. So I'm still working on that, but it'll eventually happen. I know it will. It's just going to take some time. Which says, Mary, you did great, Mary, getting this far. Yeah. Yeah, it could have been a whole lot worse. And the thing about it was not a burn from, like, people think oil or something like that. It was actual fire that burned my skin. It was actual fire, no oil, no, how something splashes on you. It was fire that caught my shirt and just went up my arm and under, So, yeah, it was bad. Which says, yes, it has to reconstruct. Yeah. And Dion says, I did that for my daughter when she burned her nose running with scalding hot soup. Ooh. Wow. Does she have any scarring from it? And Dion? I know I'm going to always have scar from it. I don't think there's anything I can do about that, because it's just, with the graft that they took a graft, well, 2 grafts from my thigh. So that was another thing that had to heal. They took the skin from my thigh and they put it, around the wound. So all of that's got to connect. All of it's got to connect, so yeah. I know, Andy, and I know that, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I know that aloe vera is something that heals. I didn't even think to use that. But I know I have to keep something on it because I can't let it get dry at all because that's very painful. If it gets dry and it's not moist, um, then it's not good. Then that's painful. Stepfather had to have all of that as well. When hot tar, oh my God, fell from the roof onto his arm while he was working in a house, everyone panicked and he had to drive himself to the hospital. Wow. Ooh, that's that's bad because Ella worked after. Okay. So after everything that they'd done, then he started using the aloe. I'm gonna try it. I'm lucky I didn't have to. My husband was here because probably because I couldn't get the fire out, I probably would have panicked even more because I couldn't get it out. I was trying to get it out and it just kept coming up my arm. So I did try to get under the sink. When you're cooking, the sink is there, and I tried to get under, and all I could get was part of my shirt under because, I couldn't get over the sink far enough, and then, I got that part wet to stop it, but then when it did reach my arm, it just started burning, burning, burning. I hate to even think about it sometimes. Oh yeah, shea butter. Shea butter is good too. Yeah. Oh wow, they thought she was abused. Wow. That probably was hard to heal too, considering it was, on her nose. Did it go in her nose at all? Because that sounds awful. Okay, yes, it makes you want to have a spray bottle. Yeah. And the thing about it is it happens so quick that you don't even, you're thinking, but you're not, I had no idea that it was just going to keep going. I'm thinking, we'll put a little water on the shirt, and it'll stop. But no, it just went, just took over. Fire takes over. If you fire is something. I'm telling you. I feel bad for people who lose their homes and everything, or lose people in fires, and I mean, it's just, a large towel or something makes you want to have something prepared for sure. I think in that case, I don't know if the towel would have just caught fire because it was on fire. The shirt was on fire. So, but it probably would have helped. Yeah, when it's happening to you, and you're not prepared for it, you don't think, where's the only thing I could think about was water stopping it. And then after my husband got the shirt off, um, it's like I had these big blisters just hanging, just big blisters. You could see, um, you know how you get a blister on your finger? Well, it was just big blisters hanging from under, all over, just big blisters. And he just rushed me to the hospital. So yeah, it was. It really got through. It really got through my skin and everything. It went deep. When I was small, my grandma's house caught fire in the middle of the night. To this day, I sleep fully clothed. Oh, wow. how did was everything okay? Okay, so she didn't get it up her nose. That's good. Yeah, it was pretty traumatic, and then I was in the hospital for a little over a week. You know, because they had to do the surgery, and then when you're going for surgery, other things happen too. But I was just not prepared for all of that, and then I hadn't been in the hospital when stuff like that happens. Um, and I hadn't been in the hospital. I was trying to think since I had my kids, but it seems like my daughter said there was another time it went. Well, it was nothing serious like this, but they have to take all that dead skin off. The thing is, it has to be scrubbed off, and that's really, really, really painful. They have to scrub. You guys ever see how they put those people that's burned all over their bodies in this water beds or whatever, and they're scrubbing all the dead skin? It takes a while, and it's very painful. It's very, very painful. And the lady that was in the bed next to me, oh, hers was, oh, I felt so bad for her. She felt bad for me. I felt bad for her. But both of her legs got burned. She said her husband was, how you light a fire, like, I don't know if it's a bonfire or whatever. Anyway, he was lighting this big fire, and he told her to stand back, but by the time she stood back, the fire had got to her legs. Both of her legs were burned badly, and the whole time they were scraping her. They would come in there and they scrape her legs. It was terrible. It's just a lot of screaming and stuff. She was bad, but it's like the fire got to both legs, because it's like when he lit the fire, you know how it goes boom like that, and it just goes. That's what happened to her, and both of her legs were burned badly. Well, eventually, the lady that was next to me, they did have to put her to sleep in order to finish scraping her, because she couldn't handle it. Oh, an emergency fire blanket. Oh, I never heard of that. Oh, electrical fire. Okay. Hmm. Fire is nothing to play with, I can tell you that. It is nothing to play with at all. And I'm very, I ended up, my sister bought me one of those electric portable kind of things that I can sit on the counter, because I have like gas. And so I'm really more skeptical now when I go, to cook something. I don't cook like I used to anymore because of that. Because it's scary. Because you get this, every time you get near it, you're thinking about what can happen. So I have this portable stove. Then I have electric pans and stuff like that now, that I use mostly now, instead of, it's trauma. It's a lot of trauma when you have to, it's things that you have to do, like you have to eat, and nobody's eating out every day. Um, so, but it's better. I haven't gotten really back into my routines yet. I don't, like I used to exercise and stuff like that. Um, but it's like you got to get your energy back so you can do all that kind of stuff that you used to do. I still try to eat well, like I used to, you know, my eating habits are usually pretty good, but like my working out and stuff like that, I haven't really gotten back into that a lot. They did a lot of that with me for my arms and legs when I was in therapy. But then, after I got home, they give you things to do. You do those little things, but still I haven't gotten back into my regular routine. So, um, so it's something. It slows you down a little bit. That's why I kept trying to come back to the channel, but then there were days like, nah, you just can't do it. So, I just waited until, you know, I could, because I missed everybody and everything. That's the thing about it, is that you miss the things that you used to do. And I had to kind of work my way back up to it. And I didn't want to keep going back and forth and back and forth. And so now, I feel like I can keep it up, but maybe not as much as I used to do it. But it's a lot better. Which says, yeah, and it's also that on your heart, that kind of pain is not only excruciating to deal with, it also affects your heart. Yeah, well, that's why you have to take the pain pills. You got to take the pain pills even if you don't want to take pain pills. I'm not a pain pill taker. I'm not a pill taker, period. But that was one of the things I had to do, because they had me on morphine for a while because of the pain. The pain was so bad. And then of course, I couldn't leave the hospital until I got off of that. And then those other really hard drugs, what do they call them? Narcotics, really. I had to take those for a while. And then when I came home, they gave me some to take when I got home also. But after a while, I was able to get off of those and just, now, when I have pain, I just take an extra strength Tylenol or, something like that. But yeah, because you have to, if you just sit there with the pain, you're in trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much. Yeah, it was. Thank you, Andion. Thank you, Christine. Things are better. Things are better. Especially about putting them to sleep. I think they should do that more often instead of trying to scrub. Yeah. But I mean, I don't think, see, this is something that you have to do like 2 or 3 times a day, depending on your burn. Like I had to do it a couple times a day. So you can't always put people to sleep all the time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to do it when people are awoke. Because it's like, they call it scraping, and it's actually scraping because you have to scrape all of that skin off. And depending on how many times a day you have to do it. Yeah, I think when they do it, it's worse than when you do it yourself. I think they don't, they don't, um, you know, they are just in there to do it and get it over with. You know what I'm saying? But if you're doing it yourself, it's easier. Okay, did the morphine work? It would only last in half for me. Well, I'm trying to think if I was, how often they were. It was, I was getting it quite a bit. You know, um, I can't remember now how often they would give it to me. It was in the Um, they put it in your arm. So I'm sure it was like a drip kind of thing that I was getting to, and along with a bunch of other stuff. A bunch of other stuff. I felt that was making me even sicker because I wasn't used to taking a bunch of medication at all. So, yeah. But, once you leave the hospital and you get into your own environment, things feel better. So you start to feel better and that kind of thing. But, it was not, it did work. It did work, but I remember I had to keep taking it. I can't remember how often. So you're saying, Andion, you saying you would take it at like every half hour? And some people are more tolerant of stuff like that. So, but it's better. So, well, it looks like I'm at my limit, guys. 2:41 again. Half hour. Every half hour. That's what I thought. Okay. Wow. What happened with you? Why you had to take it every half hour? I can't remember what kind of schedule they had me on at the moment. I would have to look that up. What had happened? If you want to share. When you get morphine, you got to be in pain. That's all I can say. Because, it'll knock you out. Yeah. Yeah. Normally, no, I don't take drugs, but sometimes you have to. Normally, I would take like something, minor was bothering me. I would take like a half of an aspirin because it would just knock me out. That was all that I would need. I wouldn't even take a whole aspirin. Um, yeah. So, the drugs that they were giving me were just, to me, it was just too much. She says, I have no problem taking it if I need it, but thankfully I don't have to take it. Yeah, yeah, if you need it. If you need it, of course, you have to. No, they would switch it something else because, oh, they switch you to something else. Oh, okay. You had to give your auntie morphine when she had cancer. Wow. Oh, well, I'm glad you're doing better, and Dion, you're doing better. I know you sound like you are. Oh, you're saying you never had to take it. Wow, that's serious too, Andion. Craniotomy, craniotomy. Okay. Wow, That's serious. Yeah, it's when you have to go through something like that, that's bad. Well, it sounds like you're good now. I'm glad everything is good for you. But I had to take things here and there. If I need Tylenol or something, I don't take it much. But yeah, I'm glad that it's there when people need it. Yeah. Yeah, when you need it, it's good. It's good that it's there for you when you need it, because we never know. Sometimes we think we can get through a pain. We can't really get through it. It's just making things worse. You might as well take the pill, you know. So, yeah. When it comes to that kind of pain, when it's that bad, I can remember waking up from the surgery and I was in so much pain. It was just, oh, I had never been in that much pain. It was bad. And that's the first thing they did was give me some morphine. So, you know. And then I had to stay all wrapped up. After I got home, they had the medication within the wrap, whatever that is they put on it, something yellow kind of wrap they put on it. And then I had a bunch of gauze, and it was like I was walking around like, like this because everything is all taped up. It's looking better, but I was so happy when I didn't have to do the tape anymore, and I could just put, cream on it or whatever, the salve on it, and it's everything. But I was walking around like a monster, kind of like. It wasn't funny then. It's not funny now, but you know what I'm saying. I can laugh at it a little bit. Morphine is what they used to give soldiers when they were dying to stave off the pain. Wow. Well, I never knew that. Hmm. Yeah. Sometimes we never know what we have to go through. Yes, I knew that about the soldiers. That's pretty sad, yeah. Because it kind of knock you out, really. You know, keep the pain, you know, at a low level. But, mm, it's terrible. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go, and I will see you guys back here. I may see you before then, but probably not in live. I'm gonna try to get out a couple of other videos. I'm glad they done that instead of letting them suffer. Yeah, yeah, reduce the suffering by some. Wow. So, guys, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Love and peace. Age of Aquarius. Live long and prosper. Thank you, guys. I will see you soon. Bye now.